Yelling at the board. Okay, so there you go.
I'm on. Hi. We're good
Don't mind our faces popping in here. We're just trying to get everything going.
Yeah, we're doing this on 2 channels, so it's a little bit funky here. And mine's good. Is yours good?
Mine's waiting to go live. Go ahead, Tom.
Yours just came on live, so click the button. Hey, everybody. I'm Jocelyn, and Mark is over here doing stuff with the other computer. So, hi, welcome to our holiday party. So, tonight we're going to make baked brie and a version of baked brie because, you know, you can make it 1,000 different ways. And we're going to make a Godfather cocktail, which I'm excited about. It's one of my favorite things. So,
But before we get started, we need to make sure that everything's working. So, please let us know. Excuse me, so I can get your stuff.
Because it's really small.
Well, I know. That's why I'm putting your stuff up there.
There we go.
So let us know if you can hear us. Let's see. I see you. Henry Martinez is on Jocelyn's channel.
Yes,
good to see you.
Hi, and Terry, Andrew, Eric B, nice to see you. Mary Ellen, nice to see you. Good to see everybody. And Talia's over there. Hey, I can't see all of that. It's too small for me to read.
I know. Sorry.
Anyway, so we've got our snacky doos set up for this, and I know some of you are cooking along with us and making drinks. If you are going to cook along with us and you're doing the puff pastry baked brie, you need to turn on your oven now and put it at 400. So
400 Fahrenheit.
400 Fahrenheit. I don't even know what that is in Celsius. I can't go backward in numbers that high. So what is that, like 130? I have no idea.
That's why they came up with the internet.
That's
so
it.
Can do this.
That's how they did it. So,
sorry, I gotta get everything back.
Anyway,
showing.
The puff pastry needs to sit out for about 40 minutes so that it is nice and pliable.
Hey, why don't you start talking to people? People need to get time to relax.
I just want to tell them this so that they know to have this stuff set up if they're cooking along with us. So.
It's 200
Celsius if you are not doing the Fahrenheit thing. Who's over there?
So don't worry about
Francis,
the comments. We
Jennifer.
can't read them. So we'll get to them eventually. Don't worry. So so we have both the channels going. Jocelyn's getting stuff ready, but the overall plan for today is to have a nice holiday thing. You're like gung ho getting right into it, babe.
Well,
you gotta,
I need people, if they were going to cook, they need to be prepared, right?
I know.
It takes a minute to warm the oven.
I know. That's why we're going to start with a drink.
It's making me crazy.
I know.
I will make the drink in a minute.
I know. I'm thirsty.
Don't tell me how to.
I don't have anything yet. I'm not telling you how to cook. I'm thirsty. So for those who are wondering what we're going to be doing tonight, so Jocelyn is making
baked brie,
and
the Godfather drink. I already told them that.
I know.
You weren't paying attention
but also,
to me.
what we're also going to be doing, because Jocelyn doesn't like to prepare like I do. I have a whole thing listed about what we should be doing at different times. We also have Wolters World gear that we're going to have some quiz questions for you. And if you guess right, if you're playing on Jocelyn's channel or if you're playing on my channel, actually there will be 2 winners for each one. So whoever answers first on those, we will send you a quarter zip or a t-shirt or whatever, depending what size you are, because we have some stuff available to get out there now.
PM us or DM us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, right?
Yeah. And
so that if you win, you'll have to give us your addresses so that we
can send it to you. Because unless you live nearby, we can drive by and throw it out the window at you or something. So we're going to do some fun things, and we're going to talk about some different Christmas things we've had over the years of our travels when we've been traveling at Christmas time, because we spend a number of Christmases on the road.
We do that almost, it's kind of like every other year of our marriage has been on the road or back here in the States. So we've got a lot of Christmases together abroad.
Yes.
It was fun. So, all right, so Mark really wants a drink, so we'll just go ahead. Can I go ahead and do that?
You go ahead.
Is
so
it
this
okay?
is the Godfather.
This is the Godfather. There is a Godmother, but we're going to make Godfather tonight. So this is an easy drink. You just fill up a glass. Do you want a red stir stick or do you want a green stir stick?
Whatever you would like to give me, I will be happy.
That's
with
right.
anything you do for me, baby.
That's right. Good answer, Mark. All right, so...
Do you like the Jocelyn and I shower decorating for the house for the season?
Yeah. You're really excited about that, aren't you?
I am. You did a great job.
All right. So fill up your glass with ice. And so the traditional way to make this is 1.25 ounces of scotch. I have Glenfiddich 12 and then 1.25 ounces of amaretto. I don't love really sweet drinks. So I am going to do 1 ounce. How am I going to do this?
Half and half.
No, I'm going to do an
We're
ounce.
doing it the old-fashioned way. I want to have like 3 fingers and 3 fingers.
I'm going to do 1.5 ounces, or 1.25 ounces of scotch and 3/4 of the amaretto, and that is just my own personal preference because I don't like it to be really sweet. So.
And I want to say a special thank you to Pink Lady. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Hope you're doing well this holiday season. I know it's not the usual holidays we're all used to, but at least we get to spend some time together. I'm glad we can be together because I know this year we've never done so many lives and met so many people this way. It's been great because we've actually met people from the lives while we've been out traveling and stuff like that. It's been really great to see people like the Finleys, you know, and some other wonderful people that have sent us some really wonderful
Darian's
things.
family.
Yeah, Darian and his family. So I just want to say thank you to everybody on there. The superheroes out there, thank you for all your support this year. It's been fun.
The superheroes have been a huge thing
They've been
for
a
us.
godsend.
It's, really, like, made some great stuff. Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I wasn't allowed to touch this till you all could see. And granted,
They
some
don't
of you.
have to see. It just didn't
So
want you
there's,
to eat
I'll show it
before
to your
everyone
ones.
else.
Her little charcuterie plate she put together for today. That Caleb was like, "Oh, the only time we get good food is when you guys do a live."
It's
And I'm
not
like,
true. This is
"That's
what we
not
do
true, dude." This is-
Anytime we have people over, but we don't really have people over anymore. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I've just poured 1.25 ounces of the Glenfiddich and 3/4 of an ounce of amaretto. Here's yours. I gave you red because you have a red shirt on.
Keeps you from getting confused.
Stir it up. Take a sip.
Jocelyn needs to work on her placement.
My placement.
You're in the middle, and I'm like hiding on both sides.
Well, that's because I was making a drink over there.
That's true.
Anyway, what do you think? I've been drinking this for like a week straight.
So this, it's
my after-dinner
the
cocktail.
amaretto makes it super sweet.
Yeah.
Completely kills all the scotch. Well, there's a little bit of scotchiness in there, but like
Yeah.
not a lot.
Not a ton.
This is one of those things that if you were young, you'd be like, "Oh, sweet drink. I'm gonna drink a lot of this." I could see it making some really wicked hangovers, but I can see it being. It's actually really good. It's very sweet. I think after about 3 or 4 of these, I'll probably have to switch to something else.
For me, it's a one drink thing. I mean, maybe 2. And the second one will probably be more of the Glenfiddich.
Well, we'll have to make another one later on for the
Yeah, we
people
will.
that are
I'm
coming
sure that
out.
I'm going to get done with this one at some point shortly. So, easy drink. What?
So Nick D wants to know how much the Brie goes into the drink.
That would be gross. But we can talk about the Brie. Should we go ahead and talk about that a little bit?
Well, we're 5 minutes in.
We're
why
only
don't you-
5 minutes in.
Why don't you tell people again what they need to do with the Brie
Okay,
and
so
the puff pastry? And
if you missed the beginning, we're going to you got to start your oven, put it at 400.
Or 204 degrees Celsius. Thank you, Finleys.
And then this puff pastry needs to sit out for about 40 minutes if it's frozen. And mine was, but I pulled it out before we started. So, and then just let that sit out. And then you got your Brie ready. And I'm going to do 2 tonight, mainly because Mark bought 2 things of Brie. So I'm
They
going to
didn't
do...
have any of the big wheels.
That's okay. I mean, small wheels are good too. I'm going to do fig spread on one, and I'm going to do apricot jam on the other. And you can do whatever you want. I don't like really sweet things like strawberry is a little too much for me, but it's really tasty.
Yeah, the
like,
amadical. How do you say that? Like because like fig is you say like that's one thing is the
Sika,
sweetness.
Avery.
Yeah, the Sika. But one of the things is when you're doing this, like I said, the over sweetness can be just too much with the Brie. You need that kind of like. How would you explain the fig
Tartar?
and apricot? Yeah, tartar
more
sweet.
Yeah, a little
But it's
bit
still
more tart.
sweet, but it's got that something.
Yeah. So fruit. It's fine. Just not like really sugary things. But if you're a sugary person, go ahead, do it. You know, that's how we do things in this house. We roll with the punches, right?
So, Jessica Marquez. Hi, Mom and Dad. Missed you guys. Hey, Jess. Good to see you.
Jess. Oh,
so, Jess
gosh.
is my favorite TA. We adopted her. Her parents don't realize it yet, but we did.
But her parents are pretty dang cool.
Her parents are pretty dang cool. Her dad, excellent dancer. Excellent dancer out there.
They're a great family, and we were lucky to have her with us on a trip.
She went to Italy with us?
Yeah, Mark took, students abroad, and actually my mother was on that trip, so she knows Jess too. Anyway, and then she was your TA after that when she went to her master's program, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so very cool. So thanks for joining us, dear.
Okay, ma'am. Says the decorations look very pretty.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Hobby Lobby. Although I had to do a little finagling to get them up on
It happens.
Yeah, well,
So Terry P. on Wolters World asks, where's a good destination for Christmas travel? What are some ones you've enjoyed?
So Germany, Austria, France are like my top ones. Although Christmas can be done anywhere and there's always wonderful things everywhere, those are my top three. How about you?
Yeah, I think with the Christmas markets and stuff like that, the season really works there for Germany. And I've seen the Christmas market stuff.
Essentially, like when you picture Christmas stuff, that's what it is. It's Germany.
Yeah.
Austria, France has some. Not all. France, like especially in the Alsace region.
Yeah, Strasbourg is the Christmas capital
of France. Although you can find markets in other. We even have done some in the south of France.
Yeah.
Paris too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were really fun. We spent one Christmas in Avignon, and oh my gosh,
right, yeah.
that was a good one. Mark fell.
Well, I thought actually sometimes you'll see a picture of me like this, and Liam is in the air, and I actually had Liam. We were in Arles.
Was it Arles?
So we were in Arles, and we were looking to see all these places that Van Gogh had painted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where Van Gogh was.
That's where he was from, or
where
he lived. That's where he
lived. Yeah. And so we're walking through, and I have Liam on my shoulders up here, and this is 2000. He's probably 3 at the time, and I have him on my shoulders going, and I like misstep, and I go down, and I remember Liam's all the way up here. He's like, he's gonna die. So we're falling, and I'm like, so I like in the launched Liam up, and caught Liam like this, but like flat out, like touchdown score. Landed flat, like totally busted up my knee, my ankle. I had a microphone for the camera that goes on the top of the camera in my pocket. It was a metal mic. Flattened it when I landed on it. Oh my! I was in so much pain.
But Liam was fine, not a scratch.
Liam was fine, like because I had him, and I'm like, ooh, boy, and he like I had him on his bottom, and so his bottom like got a little
brilliant.
bit.
I mean, I thought that you played Georgia football that day. It was really amazing.
Yeah,
you did well.
Yeah, and it's funny because you were taking a picture at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a picture of me falling, and Liam's like, oh.
I got part of that by accident, but it worked out. It's actually like it's a funny memory now. At the time, it was not funny. We were all scared to death. But and Mark's ankle was like this big. I mean, it looked like a bowling ball. I don't even know how you walked the next day.
Where did we go the next day?
I don't know. It was the whole thing. It was a mess.
Because where the alligators are in France and by Avignon. Oh my gosh.
I don't remember.
All I know is I was in so much pain. I'm like, I'm not filming today. Leave me alone.
It was quite the catastrophe.
But what is a good memory? And then there was the time we were in Prague with my parents right before Christmas, and we took the train. My parents took the train, went out to the airport in Prague.
Oh right.
This is for those of you in Europe.
They came home.
2010, right? No, 2009. It was 2009. No, it was 2010. It was 9 because you weren't pregnant yet. It was 9.
No, honey, we did Eastern Europe in 2010. 2009, we were in Bamberg.
And my parents crashed in Prague. The plane, or they couldn't take off, and we were in Munich.
They didn't crash.
No, they didn't crash. But they had a crash. Take my word for it, because we didn't see them in 2010. We came back home because you were pregnant. So in 2009, my parents came and saw us. And so anyway, we were in Prague with my parents, and we went to Berlin, Harz Mountains, Dresden, Prague, and then my parents were flying out.
Right.
So they go to the airport and fly out. We get in our train to go down to Munich, and while we're in Munich, while we're in the train, the train just pulled out of Prague, and And they're like, we're not stopping for like 3 hours or 2 hours or something like that. And then my parents called and they're like, oh, they canceled our flight. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And
your dad was really upset because he wanted to spend, he always spent Christmas with his sister. And it was like they missed it. PM.
Thank you very much for the super chat, PM. Happy holidays.
There was another one up there. Did you get that? I thought I saw. Maybe it was yellow. I don't know. Okay. Good. I just didn't. I didn't know if you saw that. I saw something for a minute.
But anyway, so we couldn't get back, and then it iced up. And so for those in Europe, remember in 2009, there's a huge ice storm through Europe. So my parents ended up getting stuck in Prague for like 6 days, and we couldn't get back up to them because all the tracks were iced over. So we ended up went to Munich and went to Bamberg. And I remember it was like, we got into Bamberg like the 23rd in the afternoon. We had like 1 hour before everything closed. And so I'm like
Christmas markets are not open on Christmas Eve in Germany.
Yeah, but we also needed groceries for Christmas dinner. And so I'm like running to the Metzgerei, the butcher and all the other stuff to get everything. So we actually have food for the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. Because the 26th is also a holiday in Germany. So I get all this stuff, and I'm like, yes, we need jam, so I'll get the festive holiday big thing of jam because there's the only thing we could get. It was so cool because I remember the next day, Christmas when Santa came, Caleb got this one Spider-Man toy he was so excited for.
I remember
and I picked him up, and he was so happy. You know, like kids get excited. He started kicking, and he just nailed me right in the nads. And I went down. It's funny. He was over the couch. I dropped him, but somehow I hit the ground before he hit the couch because it was just like, oh my goodness.
It was that was crazy. Yeah, that was a good one. Bamberg was a good one. That was our first Christmas in Europe, all of us, and that was really wonderful. We had such a wonderful time, and it's still one of our favorite places to visit in Germany.
Yep. So Henry Martinez, thanks buddy. He says thanks again for doing these great streams again, Mark and Jocelyn. I hope you can have another one on Christmas Eve day. I don't have on Christmas Eve day. I don't know what we're going to be doing. My mom's on here. I'm sure she'd like to know what we're doing too.
Hi, Cap.
So that gets there. So we have that. For those of you who want to know, you can actually watch on Jocelyn's channel, Simply Jocelyn as well, because that one's actually closer. It's easier to read than mine.
It better on my channel than we can.
Because what's funny is they don't Google doesn't let you expand the grow the letters. Zoom in.
Yeah, this is a lot easier.
Woman today, Merry Christmas to you too. Hey Troy, good to see you. Ronnie Dev, I wish it would snow sometimes. Ronnie, I don't know if you're in the right place for that.
We got snow this morning. It's mostly gone now. Yep. We've got a little bit on the grass, but not much.
Hey, Travel Adventures with Eric B. Oh, Matt's on here?
No, Natalie.
Nat's on here? Oh,
My
cool.
Nat.
Your Nat? Oh, nice. Hey, Nat. Hey, Lori Sims, and Mom's on there. Ronnie Dove, Eric B, good to see you. Gallivanting Gals, hey, glad you're doing well.
Cameron. Is that Cameron? I can't read.
Here, I'll do this.
It's killing me. I'm like going to go blind trying to read that. Plus the light is behind it, so it's even harder to read. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
So I'm going to go to...
Chris Frank, thank you so much for the super chat. And
that's your first super chat ever!
It is! Thanks, Chris!
Chris, you...
That's really awesome. And I'm glad you like these chats. We really enjoy them too. It's, since none of us get to have our friends and family like we normally do this year, you guys have become a lot of that for us. Our social life is really these chats in so many ways.
So, Jocelyn, I've opened up your channel so you can see the things there.
Okay.
So, Matthew would like to know, what are your favorite bands? I pretty much listen to anything.
I do too. I love rock, country. So, Pearl Jam, Garth Brooks. Am I dating myself?
Yeah, no, it's okay. I like Pearl Jam.
I love Bob Marley, Ella Fitzgerald.
The kids love Bob Marley. So we were in Jamaica last year, and the kids, we went to Trench Town, all kinds of stuff, and the kids just fell in love.
In Kingston. That was we had such a great time, and you can't escape the reggae, and the kids really love it. There's actually a Sirius radio channel, and it's reggae all day, and so we do some reggae too. But you know what? Here's one that's gonna throw you. I really like rap, like late '80s, early '90s. I love Eazy-E and Black Sheep and
Yeah, and she gets mad. Kids, you shouldn't watch Simpsons. I'm like, oh, shut up. Dude, shut up.
But then I listen to that, so.
So, Francis, thank you for watching on both of them. Ryan, good to see you, buddy. There's a question I wanted that was on here. Where'd it go?
Hang on, Talia, yes. The ingredients for the drink and the Brie are all on my Instagram, on my bio, so you can find them there. I'll leave them up for a few days. But basically, the Brie is, you need a wheel of Brie, some kind of jam. I'm doing fig and apricot, and then puff pastry. When I get to cooking, I will talk about the other ways that you can do this, because you can use bread or you can use like phyllo dough, but this is just like a really easy one for while we're doing this. And the drink is scotch and amaretto and ice, and that's it. So that's part of why we're doing this drink, because it's like not labor intensive. Everybody can just pour, stir, and imbibe. So cheers.
So if you ask questions, don't feel bad sending them again, because we
Hi,
can't
Brian.
see them so well. So we're just trying to getting old sucks. But also, there's no zoom in on these things, so I'm trying to read them from a distance. I feel bad because there's a question I wanted to answer, but it disappeared.
The cool kids are here because Brian's on.
How are you guys not eating the Brie yet? So Liz wants to know. We have to make it.
So yeah, we can start talking about the Brie. Is it okay? Is it time? Can I do this?
Have those of you that are doing the Brie with us? Oh,
Pink ladies, thank you so much for the super chat. That's really sweet of you. That's number 2. You guys are dolls. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
So if anybody has preheated their oven, is your oven preheated yet? That's the thing.
Well, we
and in the 40
can
minutes
do
of
some prepping.
Okay.
So I can just talk about this really quickly. When you have your baked Brie, you just take your wheel, and I find that a really fine serrated knife does this best, but we're just going to really carefully cut this at the top. We're just going to take a little bit of that rind off so that we're just getting down to the cheese. So I'm just going to prep that, and you guys can do this, earlier or whatever. It's however it works for you. So pull this off, and you'll have the light on this is absolutely
like this?
Terrible. Up there.
Remember the camera's up there.
Yeah. Okay. So can you see that? I've just
here.
taken this off, right? Okay. Good. So we're gonna do that to. We're doing 2 wheels. We toss them. I guess that can go in the disposal, right?
You could eat that.
Oh, do you want to eat that? You
No,
can eat that. That's
okay.
fine. So again, this serrated knife works best. I find that the really fine ones are the very best. But
I think you're the very best.
you are so full of caca.
No, I'm not. I went poo-poo already
Oh,
today.
please don't tell people that. Like, that is just never, we're cooking for Pete's sake.
All right.
Here, eat this. Shut up, Mark. Everybody
I don't
have a drink.
Don't need the knife in my
It's
face.
fine.
I'm so proud.
Thank you, gals. Hey, it was really nice to talk to I got to chat a little bit with the Galvin and gals this week, and haven't talked to them in a minute, so that was really nice.
So our people over here, I'm actually putting on the Wolters World feed onto here, so I can
so we can read this.
so we can read this, because I feel really bad.
All right, so we're just we've prepped these, and I will tell you, so my puff pastry is just this Pepperidge Farm stuff, really easy, right?
In the freezer section by the phyllo dough.
Yes.
Not phyllo dough.
No, but you can do this with phyllo dough if you want. So I like to just put a little bit of flour down here just to make it easier, because we're going to probably have to roll this out a little bit. Remove the paper. Y'all can see this on both, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to grab a rolling pin. But you know what? I don't even know where my rolling pins are right now. That's super.
Is it down over there where the boys like?
I don't know. They're usually
Can you
over there.
can you tell we've really prepared a lot for this?
Oh my goodness! I'm
This
sorry.
is why I'm like, let's do.
I just didn't think about it because we have.
When we
little
have our
kids.
own, when we do our own cooking show, we'll be better prepared. We'll be like Julia Child with like the 9 people like putting stuff out.
All right.
Husband
So
beaten to death, and he
this is
deserved
my
it.
grandmother's rolling pin, and my grandmother could make the best pie pastries. Her crusts were just incredible, and of course she used like lard and butter both. Anyway, so just roll this out a little bit. Just enough. We'll just have to cover you get that shrimp out of the way, baby. I don't know why this is here. Can you take it for me? Thanks.
Sure.
All right, so I'm just rolling this out a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything big. And then we're going to set this in the middle and wrap it up like a nice, pretty present. And I will pull off the extra because I don't want the top to be super thick. So we're just going to, and it will get really thick because you're like, you've got 4 bits that are going to come over the top.
So Lori says she puts cherries in her baked brie.
Oh my God, what am I doing? Oh, I forgot. The jam.
I was kind of wondering what you were doing there.
I don't know, I'm crazy. I've only had a couple sips of my cocktail.
So, there was one before. So me and Boo, I recommend baked brie with honey and pecans.
Ooh, yes, that's another one. I've done that.
Bruno Shingman Brie and Calvados. Heck yeah.
Ooh.
That's a good one. I like that.
Sounds brilliant. I have not tried that, and I think that we may have to do that. So all you're going to do is just take a couple, tablespoons and put it on top of your brie. Everybody can see this, right? Yes. All right. Just spread it over the top. You can use as much or as little as you want. I try to keep it from going over on the sides because when it goes on the side, it just gets kind of messy. So just a nice covering. Another way you can do this is to get like a sourdough, a round dough, bread, and bake it, pre-bake it if you'd like, but you don't have to. Cut off the top, dig out the center, and rip those pieces up for dipping later, and then put your brie the same way, cut off the top, and put your brie into that. So
that's what was very popular with my mom's friends back when I was a kid. I remember
yeah.
That was the only time I ever ate brie, and I'm like, this is amazing. My parents were like, we're not making that at home. It's expensive.
Well, that's the way it works. Okay, so as you pull these bits over, I'm kind of just pressing them into themselves. And puff pastry is so easy, especially the store-bought stuff. You can just stick it in there and just wrap it up, and whatever. There you go. So that's one.
So should they put it on a pie tin or a baking sheet? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna put it on baking sheet. Will you get me a baking sheet?
Yes, I will gladly get you a baking sheet.
Thanks,
Should I get you a baking sheet for?
The small one's fine.
For 2, because we have 2 together.
Yeah,
So the gallivanting gals want to know what we're drinking. We're drinking Godfathers.
Mm-hmm.
We will make another one here in a sec because it's time to make another one. I'm out.
Oh my.
Hey, Chumbers.
Do you know how to make it? Can you do it?
Okay, so for those of you wondering, a Godfather is a pretty straightforward drink. You need Scotch whiskey. Remember, there's no E in whiskey when it comes from Scotland. And some amaretto. Okay, so traditionally you do like a 50-50 mix, but it depends on how you like it. If you want it more sweet, well, you can put a little bit more of the amaretto in. If you like it a little more forza, then you put a little more Scotch in. I'm going to do, the last one was pretty sweet for me, so I'm going to do a little bit more. What?
Do 2 of the Scotch and 3/4 of, so this, both sides, because this is 1 1/4, this is 3/4. So do both sides of the Scotch and then the short side of the amaretto.
See, if you marry a bartender, you become really pathetic at making drinks because she's so awesome at it.
Oh, pour extra. It's fine, baby.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I put 1, 2 of those. And how many of these did I put in?
1 short.
1 short. Okay.
3/4 of an ounce.
See, all kinds of stuff here. We're all learning, folks. Pour that in.
That sweetness just cuts on the Scotch. I mean, personally, I could drink Glenfiddich 12 on its own. That's,
Yeah. It is quite good.
Give it a little more of a stir, baby.
Sorry. Just learning.
Okay, so yummy drink. I do like it with more Scotch than I do the other. So there's another variation of this. It's called the Godmother, and that is same proportions, half and half, but you do vodka and amaretto. I can't do that. It's way too sweet for me. The amaretto just so overpowering, and the vodka doesn't have that peaty oomph that you get from the Scotch. So that's definitely a change, right?
Yeah.
But that's a godmother. So you got 2 drinks tonight.
So some more things I think we should talk about is I think traveling with Michael traveling the world or
Michael traveling the world
was asking about if we have other videos aside from our one about traveling to France for Christmas. Yeah, we have some older ones from Germany at Christmas and U.S. at Christmas stuff. Those are like way back. But we'll be doing some new ones. We're actually filming some of those now, so that next Christmas we have some Christmas stuff out there. That's why a lot of people you've seen on our channel, like you saw the Hearts Mountains video came out today, which I filmed when we were in Christmas time, obviously not this year, but before. And we have a Czech one and a Lisbon one that was filmed at Christmas time that'll be coming out now, but we weren't there. So there are some
we were there a long time ago.
Not a long time ago. We
in
weren't
the
there.
Past,
we weren't there
not
this
2020.
year. Yeah, not 2020. So we had those because when anything's like a Christmas one, I'm like I want to save it so
Hey, Bonnie.
So. But some things I think we could probably talk about is, some tips for when you're going to do Christmas or a holiday abroad. One of the things is no matter where you're going to go, accommodation is going to be a premium. Okay, whether you're going to Paris or you're going to a Hearts Mountains or you're going to Tokyo, this is when a lot of people have time off. And so that's a big thing. And so booking ahead is key. Whether you're looking for a Scottish castle to stay in or something like that, you really need to plan.
I've never stayed in a Scottish castle for Christmas.
Well, I'm just saying we have to
Next year, baby.
Maybe it might be too late for next year. It might be the year after that. But the thing is you have so many things get booked up, and then you have the issue of transportation. So, like for example, in France, they actually announced the day, like it's in October, where they announced that we're going to start selling train tickets for Christmas week. Like October 15th or something like that.
Yeah.
Because trains will book out, and especially now.
Because locals are doing that too, right? The French are going back to their villages. The Portuguese, you're leaving Lisbon and you're going to your home village or whatever, right? So it gets really kind of crazy. Trains specifically. Rental cars are not as hard. I mean, because actually, I feel like that's an easier thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, another thing is, when you're looking at Christmas abroad, realize that, like in the U.S., you can still hit up Denny's on Christmas. If you ever watch Christmas, the Santa Claus, they go to Denny's when things don't work out.
Yeah.
Abroad, it doesn't work that way. Like, you might be able to get a kebab someplace. Well, it depends where you are. Some countries don't celebrate Christmas, so it's no big deal.
There may be, and Chinese restaurants are typically open.
Yeah.
A la
my favorite Christmas movie ever. But the thing is like there are some interesting Christmas traditions. Like in KFC did really good. I think it was in the 70s. Got the 70s, 80s in Japan. You eat Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. But I know, like, if you're going to be in the UK, there's no public transportation on Christmas Day. So, like, if you want to get, you cannot go anywhere. You cannot get anywhere. So you really have to make sure you're planning ahead. And the thing is
buy your groceries and plan to stay home.
Yeah,
right?
Because it really is like you go and you stay and that's it. And the thing is sometimes you get stuck. I remember I was in Lithuania for Christmas a couple times, but one, I was home, like I couldn't get a flight out, so I was home in Lithuania, and my TA, she's like, Mark, she was working at the school I was working at. And
she didn't want the poor man to stay in his apartment with no heat.
With no heat by myself. And she's like, hey, why don't you come spend Christmas Eve with us? And so we were in Lithuania. In Lithuania, you have like these 12 dishes leading up to midnight, and then at midnight you have the alcohol and you have the fish and all this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Because in Lithuania, like during Advent, you don't have any meat on Fridays, and so it's kind of like, oh, you get to have that. Well, the funny thing is we were in a village, and it was like minus 30 Celsius outside, Fahrenheit. It was cold, and so we're taking turns like leaning up against the fireplace, like the backside, because it was so cold. Because it was their summer house we were staying at. But they were so wonderful. Joanna and her family were so nice. And the thing is, though, they're like, oh, and Dad's like, hey, it's Christmas. You have to have Mishko Pasika, which is like Forest Dream. It's moonshine. And so he goes out and like freezing cold, like almost midnight, comes back. He has like a container like this, just full of a clear liquid. And I mean, the whole house just smelled like, he walked in, I'm like, whoa! He's like, it's midnight, you have to drink this. And I'm like, oh, you're going to have one? He's like, no, I have to drive tomorrow.
Should we tell him what happened when I had the moonshine?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I had to take pregnancy tests the next day because I was so drunk I was throwing it. But I didn't get, I had 3 drinks over the course of 6 or 8 hours, right? I had a glass of wine and I had 3 shots, but literally 6 or 8 hours, right? So 4 drinks. I mean, it takes your body 1 hour to process 1 serving of alcohol, whatever that serving may be, whether it's a shot of liquor or 4 ounces of wine or whatever, right? So the next day, I'm fine. I mean, I was tipsy, but I was fine. I wake up the next day, and I was like, oh, I'm fine. Everything's good. We get ready. We go to lunch. We're sitting
nice
at lunch,
hotel restaurant.
Really nice hotel restaurant with Mark's really good friend, Alvy and Ernesta, his wife. And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, the food came, and I'm like, oh, God. Like, the smell of it, it was good food, but I was immediately sick. And ladies, if you've ever been pregnant, I would imagine that you had that moment where you were like, oh God, something's made me sick, right? Like with Caleb, it was burnt toast. That was the day I was pregnant, right? So that was the day I knew. So when that happened to me, and it's like noon, and I had been fine the whole next day, I was like, I think I'm pregnant. I've never been this sick. Oh God, what's wrong with me?
Like Alvy, me, the boys were all like, yay!
And Ernesta and I go, what? She's like, baby, it's going to be fine. And she's holding me. And she's like, let's go outside, And she takes me on a walk. And they went and bought me a pregnancy test.
That's right. And on the way back to the pregnancy test, I saw a buddy of mine that I went to school with in Germany like 10 years before.
No way. I didn't know
Yeah, so
that.
I was like, hey, Cass. He's like, hey, Mark. I'm like, nice to see you too. And we was like,
So anyway, I was not pregnant, but that's what this stuff did to me. Like, and that's what, at least 18 hours later, that's when I was like, oh dear God. I was like, this isn't possible. Ernesta's like, baby, it's fine. I'm sure it's just the drink. And I was like, no, I was fine last night. She's like, this is how it works. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I miss them. Oh, I do. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to make the other baked brie. I'm just going to put the apricot on this one. Somebody earlier said cherry, and I think cherry is really good. I know people who do bourbon on this. You can do all sorts of tasty things with this. So I'm going to wrap this one up a little differently, just, for fun, because why not? The important thing is to make sure that the sides are pulled up tight against the brie. And squeeze that on there around the edges. And then I'm gonna just play with this one, right? Where's my knife?
you do you, baby.
You
do you.
I'm gonna, baby.
Oh, that no, I won't get to eat.
It's okay,
No.
You just eat
I
that.
don't want to.
Actually, that one's a lot prettier. I like that. It kind of looks like an artichoke. Yeah? Pretty? Got it? Okay. So, I'm going to throw these over here. Now
So
I want to
do
redo
you
this
ever
one.
put any jam later on top, or do you just like put the jam
I
away?
just do that.
Okay.
When I do this in a sourdough, if I'm doing this in a big sourdough and I've got extra around the sides, I will cut the rind off, not only the top, but all the way around the sides, and I'll put jam on the top and the sides. And then I've got all that extra bread that's toasted and whatever, and you can dip, and that's really good. And then you can pull the bowl apart, right, and do that. So these are going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. So if y'all are ready...
400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius for how long?
15 minutes.
15
that
minutes.
was so much prettier. I don't know why I did this one. Whatever.
We live and learn.
Lazy,
live and learn.
not lazy.
But now it is time for our first Christmas travel question. But let's look at some questions first. Chris Frankie, hey, bourbon always sounds good. Maybe the pecans and honey, that would go well with that one. Jocelyn they love your story. Derek and Liz, they went to Argentina for Christmas. That's a nice time. The rainy season.
Aren't they going to be in the UK for Christmas this year?
They're already back. They got back.
They're
They
home?
got back like a week ago.
How did I miss that?
I don't know, because you're a horrible, horrible
I
friend.
really am a bad friend.
Derek and Liz, Alice, I'm your much better
Sorry,
friend. Come
Derek
here.
and Liz. Like,
So
I'm
there's
just
that.
terrible. But, yeah, I'm a bad friend.
Yeah, it's okay. I still love you.
Do you?
Legally speaking, I have to, but
No, you don't have to love me. You just have to be married to me.
Fair enough, fair enough. Oh, Eric B, thank you very much for the super chat.
Hey, Eric, thank
Just
you.
for the 12 days of Christmas travel video, those make me happy every year.
Thank you, dear. They're my favorite videos every year. We film them all year, as you guys know. Sometimes we do a couple, like at Christmas the year before, like the Christmas market ones and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know Talia said something earlier too about just like it was different. This year's was very 2020 with all the Zoom things happening But you know what was cool is that because of the Zooms, like we had a superheroes chat and they all got to be on there. There was like, 12 people at least. And you could hear the good singers, not us.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
That was probably Christian and Katie, right? Christian Valdez, by the way, is a heck of a musician. But anyway, so a lot of people have gotten to be in that because of those things. My friend Natalie, who was on earlier, our parents, although our parents usually make some kind of
They make an appearance.
Guest appearance, yeah. So anyway, and we got a couple from El Salvador in there too.
Yep.
Because we did get to one country this year other than our own.
It's funny because like we'll plan out a few of them beforehand. Like I'm trying to think of for next year. Like we always like to do. There's two we always do. One is a traveling family because that's one for us. And then the two travel buddies one with the boys because we see them grow.
That's the one that's a tearjerker for me.
And that's the one Caleb can be a little difficult doing sometimes. But he's on there enough. Though I did like how Liam hit him in the balls at first.
That was great. He was like, whoa. It was funny. He didn't. I don't think he really got him because Caleb wasn't like in tears that day. But
no, but I remember he wanted to kill him afterwards. But there's that. But hey, it's time. So we've got.
In Lithuania, you don't get pregnant. Pregnant gets you.
So we got Wolters World. We got Germany. We've got some Bavarian quarter zips. We've got all kinds of other stuff up here.
And we have some in women's and some in men's.
We've got mediums, large, extra large, 2X and 3X. And we're going to send it to the winner.
But not in everything.
No, not everything.
You have to say that.
So what we're going to do is there's 4 times tonight. So if you stay on, you'll get to do that. But we have 4 different Christmas travel related questions. And the first person that answers correctly on Wolters World and on Simply Jocelyn, each of you, we will mail you a shirt. Okay? Now, so that means you'll have to direct message us, so we can make sure we get your size and stuff like that, so we can do that. Oh, thank you, Matthew McDonald. Hey, Mark.
Thank you.
Jocelyn. So we'll do that.
That's kind of you.
Yeah, Let's the Hit Road Jack 4, cancel trips. Yeah, that was a good one. That was one I'm like, oh, that one hurt. That one hurt. Like, that one hurt.
Most of them I was kind of peeved when we had to do that. Hey, I want to answer this really quick because Talia asked, what are your countertops made of? I'm so picky with messes. So my counters, and I actually have gotten this question quite a lot on my channel. These are honed granite. They're black granite. Black granite is the least porous of granites anywhere. So I read and researched because that's what I do. Most people get their granite sealed. And black granite, because it's so non-porous, often the sealant bubbles up and people have problems with the sealant more than they do the stone. So I didn't seal mine. The guy that did this, the builder, was like freaking out.
Yeah, he actually had a sign on the thing saying, if you put anything on here, you will pay for a new countertop. And I mean, he was adamant. I mean, the guy we built with, very meticulous, but kind of.
He was very meticulous.
Yes.
Anyway, but it was
particular.
So anyway, part of what you'll learn with stone is that it's either thirsty or not. So if I were to drop water on this, it doesn't really soak in, so it's not thirsty, and that's a good thing.
Should I pour some on?
No, you should not pour some on. But I wipe these down constantly, and I do not use any cleaners on it. I use Norwax, which has like silver in it, which helps with antibacterial stuff. I will use soap and water sometimes, but I just wipe it down constantly.
Only when good guests come.
Not for my husband and kids.
No, I wipe this down. I do my part.
We wipe these down a lot, and they have been fantastic, and I love them, and I will do it again because I love this stone.
So we got to get to the question, but
yes.
There's a couple questions on here. Matt Jones, what do you guys think of Quebec City during Christmas time? It is gorgeous. If you cannot get to Europe for Christmas, Quebec City is the closest thing to Europe in the Western Hemisphere. Seriously, it is a gorgeous city. My favorite place to visit in Canada. Great place to go for the holidays. Even not the holidays, it is a fantastic place to see.
Yeah, you really do feel like you're in France very much. I mean, not that you're in France, but it has such a very European feel.
I want to say thank you, PM, thank you again for the holiday wishes and the super chat. That was really nice of you. Hello to Thomas Reiser, who's telling us all the good places to go to and see Christmas lights around here. So, Matthew McDonald, do you guys remember the people who go on the streams? After a while, yeah, we start to recognize
a lot of people who are on here often. Yes, definitely. And we've gotten, like we said earlier, we've gotten to be really good friends with a lot of people. I mean, even if it's just virtually, and like Talia's on here a lot, and she and I direct message on Instagram constantly. Like it's, you know, not
or like the
constantly,
Finleys, or Brian Smith Law, or Ronnie Dutt. Like we will check quite a bit.
Our superheroes are.
But it's time for the first question.
Time.
We are behind. This was supposed to be at 8:20, and it is now 8:40.
Oh, good.
So we are behind. So our first question: name the city. It should be town. The town and state where the inn in the movie White Christmas is located. So the first two people that get the right answer up.
You watch yours, I watch mine.
Okay. First one gets it up. First one, yours and mine, gets the answer. And it has to be the town and the state. So let's see. And we'll see what the delay is on here.
We got a little bit of a delay. Hi, Philippe.
But that's actually a movie we watch all over the world. We've watched that at Christmas in France a few times, Lithuania. I used to watch that a lot back in the day.
You watched that.
I used to watch that with my great aunt in the back in the day. I used to watch with her on Thanksgiving. That and It's a Wonderful Life, and then we go watch that. No, Ronnie Dove, it is not New York. It is not Bedford, Massachusetts.
Come on, y'all. This is my favorite Christmas movie.
Boom! Michael Traveling the World is the winner on Wolters World.
Talia is the winner on Simply Jocelyn. Woohoo!
So let's write this down.
Write those down.
Talia and Michael.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Well, tell them
to
the
both
answer.
of you. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. It's Pine Tree, Vermont. And you know what? A couple other people got it right after, too. But Talia's came through first on mine, and who came through on yours first?
Michael Traveling the World.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
He just changed his thing. He was Traveling the World.
Oh, okay.
So you guys direct message us. I know you're on Twitter. We talk on there, so we can get on there for that and get you guys some shirts in your sizes.
Matthew said Jackson, Wyoming.
Jackson, Wyoming. Jackson would be a cool one, but I don't know if that's where that one would be. No, but like Vermont. So we were in Vermont a few years ago. Vermont's got great beer, by the way, like really great beer, and it is just
not
gorgeous.
that I drink beer.
Yeah,
but I know you love it.
Yeah, I do. But it's like, it is really a gorgeous place. One of those states that it's small. There's only like 500,000 people that live in the state. So you're never around a lot of people. There's so much nature and the mountains and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it is a really beautiful place to visit. And what's cool is if you're doing a Canadian road trip, like
That's right, Bubba.
We did Prince Edward Island to Quebec City to Montreal, Kingston, Ottawa, Kingston, Toronto. Mm-hmm. We actually popped down from Quebec City into Vermont and then went over to Montreal. And it was just a wonderful visit. It was it Lake Franklin or Franklin Lake we went to? Just a really...
Franklin, Vermont. The lake is something else.
I can't remember what the lake was called.
That's where Rusty
live. But really, really nice place. One of my I don't really have a lot of dreams about a house or anything like that, but the fireplace in White Christmas in the lodge.
I wish I could have put that in my house.
It was like a big, huge bowl with a hood that you're just like, I just want to sit in the fire and do nothing. It makes you want to live in a cold place, you know?
Well, for a week. I don't ever want to live in a cold place. That's just not my jam.
That's not Jocelyn's jam, no. That is definitely not Jocelyn's jam.
Jocelyn has, I mean, I tell you what was it like a couple weeks ago we went to the grocery store and it was like, we live in like, people call Chicago the Windy City. They haven't been to Champaign. I mean, it is so damn windy. And we had like 25-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm opening the doors to throw the groceries in, And I just look at Mark and I scream, "Why in God's name do we live here?" I mean, it was just so cold.
She wasn't happy.
No,
I was kind of worried because like we had some snow today, so I was kind of surprised she went outside.
Snow doesn't bother me. It's the wind that just cuts through you.
Oh, the cold didn't bother you anyway?
No, the cold does bother me every way.
Okay, Elsa.
That's how that works. I don't like Elsa. That song makes me crazy.
Oh,
it never gets out of your head. Are we switching sides again?
Yes, because my phone was over here. Scorpio Sue, thank you very much for the super chat. That is super awesome.
Thanks, Scorpio Sue.
Merry Christmas.
What big and small European cities have the best Christmas markets, best food, best place for gifts, most fun?
Okay, so if you're looking for big cities with Christmas market stuff, I would have to say for big cities, Vienna, Prague, and Munich are the best big cities for Christmas markets. If you go to places like Paris or Berlin, they're more like fun fairs. Big cities. Big cities.
We're not doing.
Well, that would be the next thing down.
Okay.
Because like London has some nice stuff too, but like Paris and Berlin, it's just like I said, it's like a fun fair. If you want like you feel like you're the Christmas season and stuff like that. Prague, Munich is really good. What else I say? Prague, Munich, and Vienna for big cities. Medium-sized cities that are really good to see. Salzburg, Austria, Innsbruck, Austria. Those two are beautiful to go see, and they're big enough cities with enough tourism there that you can actually stay there and there's plenty of stuff to do aside from just doing the Christmas markets. Bamberg, Germany is one of our favorites. They actually have kind of the fun fair one. They have a historical one, and they have like a medieval one, which is nice. And then you have like the Harz Mountains where we did
Vinegar Oda and
Quedlinburg. Quedlinburg's really big for that. Of course, Rothenburg oder Taube, which is uber over the top Germany stuff, is nice to go see. Strasbourg in France.
Hang on, I gotta get my mug.
Strasbourg, France is fantastic
for the Ernst August Platz.
Yeah, that's a big city.
It's a big city one, but that's one that I always enjoyed.
Yeah, but then like in terms of the gifts to get when you're there, so you have the Christmas mugs, which we've shown. Well,
I'll grab some.
And when you get your hot wine, you drink your hot wine, and you pay a deposit on it. You can take them home if you want, or not. Like we had like our.
Y'all, this is the only mugs we have pretty much are Christmas market mugs.
That was Chicago. That's Nuremberg.
Chicago.
That was Berlin. Where was that, Berlin? That's Nuremberg.
This is Nuremberg, and it's a boot. You often find the boots. And this is my favorite one from Hanover. Actually, I love this mug. I just love this mug.
And the thing is, sometimes you get ones that are from like years ago, so it'll be like, I got one.
How you, good golly, Miss Molly. Explain how you pay for them, too.
So, as I said before.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Oh,
when you buy your drink, it'll be like 3 or 4 euros to get the drink, but then you have to pay a deposit. It's called a Pfand, P-F-A-N-D, and it used to be just like €1 or 2, but now we were in Munich a couple of years ago for the Christmas markets.
Yes.
It was €5. So when I got mugs of cocoa and Glühwein, hot wine, for our party of 8, they're like, oh yeah, that's €85. I'm like, what? Like, oh, don't worry, you get like 45 of it back. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that kind of shocks people when they are there. And those places, they're starting to take card more, but it's a lot of cash only kind of stuff.
Very much. You got your pocket full of euros, right? Your change and all that.
So
Pink Lady, yes, our kids do enjoy playing in the snow, but today we didn't get enough snow to make a difference. They didn't really get to play in it. Yeah. But the boys really do love that too.
Oh, gee, thank you very much for the super chat. It says, Merry
you.
Christmas, Wolters family. Besides Wolters World merch, haha. Nice, I like what you did there. What are some good gift ideas for the person that likes to travel? Okay. You want to do something?
Well, we have a list. It's an old list, and I don't know that the links are even good anymore. But
they're not.
One of my favorite things is our Longchamp bags. We have a couple of big duffel bags. Actually, our gray one is like the super extra Mac Daddy large one, and it's like this. No, it's not down here. But it folds up to something this big, and it's quite flat.
And I'll even take those, because I usually just go with a backpack. But I'll take that just in case, but when I come back.
As we need things, right? So, go ahead, I'm going to pull this
out. Some books that I like. Atlas Obscura. It goes like all these crazy, it's like the crazy spots to visit around the world. They have Atlas Obscura, like it's for adults. Then there's one for kids that kids kind of get a kick out of. And if you're thinking about traveling with your kids, give them that. And then go to some of the spots they'll see. They're like, oh my god, there's a place that's made out of bones. Yes, you're going to Evora. Oh my gosh. And so there's that. For people that really like to travel, I always like to get the Lonely Planet, the World book. Usually like a top 10 of every single country in the world, which is really nice. Other good ones. The scratch-off maps were pretty popular a few years ago, but not so much now. What I always recommend, getting a new plug, like a new converter, new adapter for when you travel, because they die out. Eventually they do die out. And the thing is like you'll have them for a long time and you'll wonder, it's like, why isn't my phone charging faster? You get a new one, have a better cord.
To charge with an old one.
A good high power, high speed charging cord and a nice plug that has USB ports on the side and you can actually plug in like a computer or something like that that'll go everywhere. Those are ones that I always recommend. Another thing is an RFID protector.
We have a couple of them. So we have a passport, and they make different ones. The company's called Zero Grid, and I really like their stuff because it's lightweight, but it's good organizational stuff. We have one for our family, and it has enough to hold 6 passports. We have obviously 4, and it's got like it's got a couple of zip pockets that you can, and we just have 4, unless we're adopting children. It has zip pockets where you can stash money or receipts or, whatever. It comes with a little pen because, as we all know, if you're going into another country, quite often you have to fill out some kind of immigration form, so your pen's there.
And I never have pens available.
No. So it's really nice to have all that in one place. I also have a little RFID. It's like an oyster thing. It's like a plastic thing for my credit cards. And it's really small, and it holds like 8 or 10, and actually I can shove a couple in each one if I need to. So RFID is, having that kind of thing is really important.
Yeah. So those are some ones we kind of recommend.
Henry, we don't, because we don't have either of those stores. We don't have a Trader Joe's nor a Whole Foods here.
Yeah, no, we've got a Costco now.
But we have Aldi, which a lot of the stuff, Aldi and Trader Joe's are
somehow
sister companies. Their own. No, they are. They're together, but not.
They're kissing cousins.
Yeah. Anyway, go on, Thomas.
My buddy Thomas Reiser.
No, thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, buddy.
That's kind of you. I've been enjoying your posts on Instagram with all the different lights around town. It's been really nice.
Yeah, so I'm like, the ones in Muhammad, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty out there. You can read here. I haven't.
Oh, Lee said travel journals. So we're terrible about travel journals.
So my travel journals, this is mine. This is where I write all my scripts and everything. So this is, obviously I was in Texas when I was most of these filming, and they're South Dakota and stuff. So I have these because then I can have it divided by country. I have my notes. I can't really tell. There's different color codes and stuff, but that's how I do mine. We had one for Caleb when he was younger, but then he's like, I don't want to write. Mm-hmm. So we just.
But my mother-in-law just has little flippy note things.
Oh yeah.
She just writes. She'll write restaurants that she loves. That little.
Like this big.
Yeah, little notepad.
Like you're making notes like, oh, on number 9 at dog legs left. Like, I mean, it's.
She has all sorts of stuff, but I can always call her and say, hey, where's that restaurant we really liked in, whatever.
No, you can be like, the restaurant we liked on that one trip. Oh, yeah, boom.
I mean, she's always got it down for us. I really like to take, we've been doing this for a little bit, I take watercolor pens or some dry watercolor palette things, and a couple of books, and the kids and I have been painting and drawing as we do stuff. That's been really fun.
Like we actually have a painting that Caleb did up on the wall over there.
Yeah, Caleb and I took an oil painting class in Paris. Our teacher's name was Michael, and he's really talented. Oh my gosh. Half the year he spends in Thailand, and he teaches portrait painting there. And then the other half of the year, the warmer months, he comes and he lives in Paris. And he teaches landscape portraiture or landscape painting. And I'd never done oils before. I've always been really intimidated. And we both painted Notre Dame as we saw it in that moment after the fire. And it was, it's just, those are some of my favorite things. So really cool.
Yeah, Liam and I did a macaron class. And so we came and met them. And they're painting right on the Seine. It was beautiful.
Talia, I haven't seen your card yet. I will look for it.
But we haven't got a lot of stuff because
we got a chunk. We were gone for a little while, so we got a chunk of mail.
2 days of mail. We missed 2 days.
Yeah, but it's a chunk of mail, and I haven't gone through everything yet. As a matter of fact, I've only got.
We didn't get anything from Telly.
No. Okay. Well, then.
Because we also didn't get. So for those who know, I'm a teacher during my day job, and so I had to put in grades, and I have a class.
Script for tonight, Nick.
I have 1,100 students. And so I had to put in numbers for all the grades, and I only had was my laptop, so I'm like doing this. I'm like, if I only had. And I'd ordered one, and it disappeared.
Let this sit for. Okay.
So Jocelyn had it in for 15 minutes, but it was not enough time because it didn't work.
I gave it a little bit. That was, I burned myself the other day. Can you see that, Boo Boo? I burnt myself on the fireplace the other day, and third degree. Anywho, I put these things together too close, and they kind of smushed together.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I'm.
See, I should have got the bigger one.
It's fine. So anyway, my twisty one kind of unraveled just a little bit, but it's fine. You know what? Because in a minute we're gonna pull that apart anyway and dig in. I'm gonna let this cool for a little bit. I'm gonna move it so I don't burn myself anymore. But
I'm not going over to your side.
Yeah, don't.
Hey.
So let them sit for 10 or 15 minutes. The brie will still be pretty mushy and edible and whatever, but it's the pastry is just too dang hot if you take it out right away.
How should they enter into it? You cut it? Do you
I'll
rip
show
it?
him.
Okay. I'm just excited because I'm hungry.
Well, you sounded like that guy on Teen Titans Go.
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
So Melissa from Delaware, good to see you. Love your 12 days of travel video this year. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So though, just remember, I'm looking at my phone to read the stuff because that's
Thanks,
so
Brian.
far away, no one can read it. Oh, Lorelai's there. Yeah, she's like, whoops. Let's see.
What now?
Nothing. You don't even worry about it. I love you.
Yeah, sure you do.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's hit the road, Jack. I bought a few adapters. They were like $1 each, but I'll probably also get a cube adapter that has 3 outlets and 2 USB ports.
The USB ports are so helpful. That's
especially
great.
and the thing is, we'll use that even in the U.S. Because hotels have so few plugs, and you're like, come on, people, we all have 9 devices. Why are you hiding the stuff behind the couch or whatever?
That place we stayed in Arkansas, I literally had to pull the nightstand out, and I'm hunting, and I had to unplug.
And not all the plugs worked.
Well, they only had 2, one for the lamp and one for the clock. So obviously the clock's going, and I unplugged that and put our stuff in, and we used the one that had a couple USB things on it, so we could plug both our phones in for the night.
Yeah, and if you got kids, it makes it so much easier because then, you can plug in the switch that way. And you can plug in
whatever.
There's so many things you can do. It makes it so much easier because it just gives you that extra. It's like 3 plugs in one. When in some hotels you only get 1 plug. So.
Oh, listen to this. The Galva and Gals take business cards from restaurants and hotels and make a note on the back, and they have a file at home. If I filed anything, that would be a brilliant thing to file.
We have filing cabinets that. When we moved into this house, I'm like, I'm going to file stuff. And so I have a bunch of stuff filed from 2015. And we moved in 2015, and that was it.
So another thing, though, that we have done is, and some of it we've shared with y'all, some we keep personal, private, but we do those little interviews with the kids. We try to do one every year with the kids. And I know some of them are online for you guys to watch, and they're questions that you guys have given them. But we have a lot of video that, we're making videos all the time anyway, so we have stuff of our kids, and some of it we share, and a lot of it, though, is just, our special memories and moments and stuff. So that's another great way to capture those things and the memories, especially with your children.
All right. Should we go for another trivia question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so remember, first person that shows up on Wolters World answering it gets such shirt, and whoever shows up first on Simply Jocelyn gets it as well. So
let me read this one. You got to do the last one.
Hold on, well, you watch your thing. It's this one here.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm okay. You got. Hold on. Let me get. Oh no, my phone's stuck. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
Sugar, I can't read that, so I'm going to do the one I can read.
What?
I don't even know what those
That's
words...
what you gave me that one.
I know, but I can't read it. Oh, that word. Wow. If you could see this writing. Okay, so, number 2. Where are the...
Wait, you got to preface it. You need to have the city and the country in your answer.
Where are the McAllisters traveling to in Home Alone 1? So, Kevin gets left home. Where does the rest of the family, what flight, where are they going to?
Yeah, Mikey Sanchez, I agree. Jocelyn is slaying it with that turtleneck.
I love turtlenecks. They're my favorite.
And thanks, I'm glad I look good too. Oh, Peter Melander, first up on Wolters World.
Oh, Peter got it. Oh, Brian Smith Law.
Brian Smith Law.
Got it. Awesome.
Mr. Pecan Pie himself.
Yes, thank
Thank you, brother.
The answer, children, is Paris, France.
That's right. And where were they going on the second one? I think they're going to Florida in the second one.
Yeah, I think the second one was Florida. But the first one was Paris, France, and God, we're all missing that, right?
Yes, we are. There's actually a few Paris ornaments up on there. Nice.
All right, so somebody's got quick fingers, I think. I think that's what that is. So anyway, congratulations to y'all. We will need your addresses. Brian, I think that we have yours, but double check with me because I think you all have moved too. So I love that Derek wrote Paris. That's great. And Brian started typing at McAllister's. That's funny. What if we had said Home Alone 2 and you would have gotten it wrong? Oh. Anyway, I love that we're playing this. This is kind of fun. Mark's pulling things off of our tree. We've got a lot of... We didn't decorate all the trees this year. We have 3 trees. So we've only decorated 1.
So we grab ornaments when we travel. So like, hold on. There's a little, Santa in Paris one there. So you can see it here. You got a Santa in Paris. Sometimes they're just silly ones we'll see. Yeah, this is one, the Welsh dragon. We got that at a castle in Wales and stuff. And then
this is a little nativity, a little creche from Costa Rica. And on the back, I've written Costa Rica, January 2016. Well, that was a hell of a trip. Y'all, we got stuck in Chicago.
That was what killed us. That's what killed us with the United.
That was the last time we flew United because
you flew again.
I did. Well, I did, and they shut the door in my face, literally. And oh boy. Anyway, that's another story. But we flew. So we were flying out of O'Hare in January, which is always it's always a gamble. But we got in really early and we went straight to the United Lounge because we had whatever. We had some...
You're like a 4-hour layover.
So I was like, you know what? It's packed in here. Let's just go to the lounge because we had our tickets or whatever to get into the lounge because of our status stuff.
No, we didn't.
Did we pay? We paid?
Okay. United never gave us anything.
And
even when we flew them all the time. It took tons of groups.
Anyway, so we went in the United Lounge, and thank God that we went in right away because had we not gone in right away, they actually cut off the lounge because it was so full, and it was insane. But I ended up running daycare. This is why my kids travel with backpacks of little toys that are shareable. Mark got in line to handle whatever, and it was a line of like 500 people, it felt like. And I had my kids sitting on the floor, and we had Legos, we had Hot Wheels, we had crayons. What?
Army men.
I don't know, whatever. We had a lot of varied stuff. So other kids kind of gravitated toward our kids. And so I pulled out chairs and I made a little box so that I wouldn't lose kids because people are just leaving their children with me. They're just like, go play with them, honey, and then they're gone. And I'm like, oh God, what if I lose your child? I mean, it's in an enclosed space, right? Yeah. It's in the lounge. They can't get too far. But
to be fair, only a few parents didn't ask.
Most parents were like, spoke
again, some were like looking and they're like, I don't know what to do. We're like, hey, you can leave them here. We're rebooked.
But there were definitely 5 or 6 that didn't even speak to us. They're just like, go sit with those kids, and they take off, and I'm like, oh, Like, I mean, that was, and I'm not the babysitting kind. I mean, at least not when there's like 12 children, not mine.
We had more than 12. It was crazy.
12, not mine, plus my two.
Oh,
it was
right, yeah.
like 14, 15 kids, and like solidly for hours. And I'm like, I should be getting paid, y'all. I need $10 an hour for this. But anyway, it ended up being really fun, but it also really solidified our having the toys. And even though Caleb's grown out of a lot of those things, he still has a little packet in his bag just in case. And it's more for other kids than it is for him, certainly at 14.
So another thing is the glue vine, the hot wine. So for those in the U.S., if you're not sure where you can get it, like liquor stores will carry it a lot of times during the holidays, but not always a lot. Your best bet is actually going to Aldi. And Aldi will usually have two kinds. It'll be like a plain, or sometimes you can get this one that's like a cherry flavor one. And this is the one I like quite a bit because
that's the one my mom got you for Christmas.
Yes, the one my mother-in-law got me for Christmas. And you have that. Now, it's funny. I'm like, the Godfather's getting a little sweet for me, but I'm like, now I want to have a sweet wine. But it's still good. So there is that. So Jocelyn is now moving on to the Brie.
I'm going to just pull this Brie out. Pretty Brie. Isn't that nice? So I've got bread for you, baby.
Oh, thanks, babe.
You're welcome. Isn't this a beautiful little... It's a tea towel, but my stepmother made that. She actually wove this. It's so, that was one of my Christmas gifts, and it's so beautiful. So Mark's got bread. I've got my gluten-free crackers, although I did take a bite of dough earlier. So you can either pull this off like this and just,
show them
peel
they
and
can't,
eat.
they can't see.
Oh,
no,
yours
over
can't.
there
I'm
can't
sorry.
see, lady.
So you can peel this off, but I really like to cut it open and kind of let it spill. It's good to have a lipped plate so that you can kind of let this flow all over the place. But a few cuts through it. You want to get lippy?
No, dear.
You're going to get punched in the lip?
No, dear. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome,
You're
baby.
the best.
All right, so you can kind of just pull this apart and let it goo out. And then,
Hey!
get crazy with a knife.
You want? I don't want to. Go, so.
There you go.
That is good.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
I love the apricot. Oh, shoot, I just put that away. I'm going to get another knife out.
Takes you back to one of the Campbell's house. So, I lived abroad for 12 years, and I try to come home occasionally to see my parents.
They try to come home occasionally.
Oh, because they would come see me. And we were at my parents' neighbor's house, they were friends of ours, and they would always make the baked brie.
Oh, Joan makes really good bread.
Yeah, and it was like that was one of are we going over to Campbell's? Because I'd really like to go to Campbell's, because I knew every time it was holidays she would make
Joan
that.
would have that for you, wouldn't she?
She would.
All right, so there you go. That one actually turned out a little bit better. I think that the wrapping doesn't look as pretty, but once it cuts, it's easier to cut the wrapped one open rather than the one that's all twisty. Neck?
That
yes?
big. Oh, man. That big works.
Your favorite? Okay, so there's bright Brie.
It's super simple. People really like it. And it looks super fancy, but it's not fancy to do. Not hard to do. So, well
Philippe
worth it.
says he has a good Swedish glog recipe.
And
Kathy, Mark's mom, sent me her wassail recipe this week. But man, that was just way too involved to do on a live stream.
But you can actually watch me make it with my mom from
A couple
10 years,
ago.
10 years ago.
Not long.
And yes, you can eat it like a piece of pie.
Yes, Brig is here, and Brig is thirsty, and Brig wants some food. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come. Okay. You sit. Can they see him? Okay, watch this. You ready? Easy. He's a good boy. He's so gentle. when he wants to be, but
Oh, he just totally slimed you.
not my black pants. Thanks, buddy. It's alright. I love dog slime.
It's alright.
He just drank.
I'm not laughing
Let me
at
wipe
you.
it. Yes, you are, and that's
Oh.
okay. It's my dog's slobber. I
My
love
dog.
him.
My dog.
Your dog. So my
My dog.
it is.
Well, for me. Who's your big dog?
I wanted the dog.
She gave me 7 beers and then took me to the Humane Society.
The dog betrayed me and became Mark's dog. We had a meeting today, and we walked in, and the secretary at the business we were in, she's like, "Oh wait," and I was like, "Oh!" I hear this, and a little bulldog puppy comes out at me. He's like this big, and I melted. I mean, I melted on the floor. And it was hard to go into that meeting after that. I mean, I literally sat on the floor in the middle of a business and cooed and petted and cuddled. And guess what I'm getting for Christmas, baby?
Perfume?
Get me a bulldog puppy. Don't I deserve one? I've lived with all of these males. I'm going to get a girl. I'm going to get a girl dog. Because I'm the only estrogen in this whole flipping house.
You do you, baby.
I'm going to get a dog.
You do you.
You know, if I get a dog, I need all of your support because he's going to be Pissed. Uh-huh.
I don't know why you need a dog when you had Brie.
Because
Who is
he's
the best
your
dog ever. No, he's a family dog.
Yes,
He's the best
you
dog
just
he's
went
ever
on and
had.
on about
He's a
his
good boy.
your dog.
He's not my dog. He's our dog. That just happens to love the most awesome person in the house way more than everyone else. Me. That's right. That's right.
Shut up, Mark. Everybody take a drink. Oh, hey, this is my new Buc-ee's thing. Can I show everybody my
You
new
can do
Buc-ee's
whatever you
thing?
want.
Because you know we love Buc-ee's. Actually, Mark's totally, like, obsessed with Buc-ee's.
Just wait till the Texas
Well,
videos
I
start
think this
coming
is
out.
the theme of 2020. Wash your hands and say your prayers, because germs and Jesus are everywhere. I just thought that was, like, so appropriate for this year. Like, all I've done is wash my hands. Or if y'all don't have lotion sitting next to your sink, this year with all the hand washing, you've got some problems. Like, I don't know how people are making it through.
All I know is when this first started, I was, when it first started, friends in Italy were already in lockdown. I was washing my hands so much, they're like cracking and bleeding all the time.
Mark was a disaster. Mine did that every year. I used to take kickboxing and boxing, and every year in the winter, my hands would just split.
Oh, that's right.
They
They
were
were bad.
so bad. Oh, awful. Am I going to name him Herschel? That's not a bad name.
But you wanted a girl.
I always thought we would have Brigadier and Gunner. Stick with the military theme. I don't know.
We got a
But if
brigadier.
it's a girl,
You don't need. Oh, you got a brigadier. You don't need anything else. Love you. Don't you? I love you too, Brig.
if you love me, you let me have a bulldog puppy.
I do. He's right here. Look, Brig. Are you a bulldog puppy?
No.
Look.
Yeah, I am a Doberman and
Look
a
how happy
clown.
he is. He's like, I'm a Doberman.
He's happy because we gave him
Bulldog?
food.
What? Who gave him?
You gave him food.
I didn't.
And I did too.
Good boy. Sorry, you guys don't need to see us fawning over our puppy.
You know, we never like baby talk our kids, but we baby talk our dog all the time.
I think that's required. All right, let's look for some questions here. Beaver nugs, yeah, Rusty. That's right.
Carrie Miller was going through Florida and found a Buc-ee's. So excited, but wasn't open yet. That sucks. There is one now in Alabama that is open, right?
The one, and yeah, there's the one in Georgia, but they're open the one by Warner Robins.
Oh, yep, that one's coming. That's right up by
Darien.
By Darien. If y'all ever see Magnificent Germany with Darien, he's he's a great guy. He happens to be a Gators fan.
We all have problems. You know?
we all have character
I
flaws.
only love one dog.
yeah.
So I want to say,
Shake.
there was one here.
Shake.
Lee Bridges, if Jesus is everywhere, is he the one who left the laundry in the dryer for 2 days? My husband says it wasn't him. That's freaking funny.
Our laundry is perpetually in the laundry room. Yeah, because you leave it in the dryer, so you turn the dryer. I spray water in there and then turn the dryer back on for 10 minutes so it's unwrinkled and pull it right back out. I mean, why not use that as your closet?
Hey, Bubba, you're right, mate. Just send me a private message. We'll talk.
The Chameleon, yes, O'Keeffe's Working Hands is really good stuff. I have used that.
Oh, and that O'Keeffe's will really work on your feet, too.
My dad is a car dealer, and all the guys in the shop, they have O'Keeffe's like at the dealership because the service department guys, they need it, especially during the winter when everything's dry and crazy. So, Henry asks, how long have you had your dog Brig? Brig is 5 or 6. He's 6.
He's 6.
Yeah, we got him when he was 8 months old. We got him from the Humane Society. We're big rescue people, and he's
such an expensive free dog.
He chose us. Anyway, he is a good boy, and he was. So these people had gotten him from a trucker at a truck stop in Kansas City.
Yep.
And then they kept him for a few months, docked his tail, and had him fixed, and then took him to the Humane Society right after New Year's, and we got him for Valentine's Day. Yeah, you're just a good Valentine's present, aren't you? He's a good boy. Yeah, sit.
Good boy. He's a little spoiled lately.
We were gone for 2 days, and so because it was a short trip, we didn't have a house sitter. And so he was at doggy daycare, and he gets a little feral after he's been to doggy daycare.
Can I help you, Brig?
Look at that nose.
He's like,
he's like, cheese!
I do not
Cheese and peanut butter are his favorite foods, I think,
but
right?
I do not enjoy the walks the next day after he eats a lot of cheese because it's like...
We don't need to go into discussion about that.
Those have dogs. No, they know. What do you want?
He's about to talk to you about it.
You can go down.
Climb.
Go your climb.
Go on.
Climb. Good boy. Go your climb. He follows directions better than the children.
I always thought, I've told so many people this, that you should really have a puppy, raise it, and raise it well, learn to train it, and train it well, because those same things are really good for kids. Right? Like you have to, if they misbehave, you have to correct it. You have to tell them it's wrong and correct it within 5 seconds. And those same things apply to
because our kids
toddlers.
are like, what did I do wrong?
Well, it applies to toddlers. It doesn't apply to 14-year-olds who can rationalize and argue with.
I like that irrationalize.
Rationalize.
No, irrationalize.
That was Freudian, and that was correct. Rationalize. Anyway.
Irrationalize.
Oh my gosh. So.
Would
Hey,
you
Rusty.
Klondike bar? I go outside in our freezer in our garage and grab one. That's what I do.
Oh, goodness.
Actually, I'm more of an ice cream sandwich guy myself. So.
No, I prefer Klondike bar.
Well, aren't you special?
I wish they made them smaller, though. That's a lot. It's really rich. Don't look at me like that. Don't judge. You married me.
I know. I judge myself every day.
You want to throw down, buddy?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so Rick Thweet writes, we're planning on a Copenhagen, Stockholm, Bergen, and Oslo trip in 2022. That's actually a really good trip. Which city is worth spending the most time in? I would probably do Stockholm. 1, Copenhagen is a close 2, and then Oslo, then Bergen. To be honest, in terms of what you're going to see, do, things to take in, especially if you're going to go during, like, it's not winter. It's definitely Stockholm 1, then Copenhagen. It's like Stockholm, Copenhagen, then Oslo, then Bergen. So that would be, I'd say, for that. Melissa has not been to Scotland yet. It's a good way to look at things. You haven't been there yet. There is still time. Yeah, Brian Page, he wants the Brie. No, I'm not giving him Brie because honestly, we all have. I have problems. I have problems. He has some cheese addiction issues. Like if we left, he doesn't take food off the plate. Except lately, he started to take the kids' food. They don't take their plate off. He'll be like.
No, he hasn't taken it off the plate. He takes it off the table. Like if they've dropped it on the table, and he kind of goes like sideways.
I think Jennifer Benty's the best. It's insulting to baby talk with your baby now. Makes no sense. Yeah, especially when your baby's 14, they're all like, what?
Mark Finley, I noticed that same thing. If you guys have seen the giant peanut butter cup video on Simply Jocelyn, Mark Finley helped me make this. It's his recipe, and it is absolutely incredible. But we did this video, and I didn't notice Piglet, their dog, was around. She's much quieter than Brigadier. She's stealthy.
Smooth. She's stealthy, yeah.
She's smooth. So, but I was watching it, and
I thought they had a bark collar on her or something.
no, she's quiet. And she was tiptoeing around, and she knew we were using peanut butter. Dogs kind of do that, right? Oh, Rusty Shackelford says, I'm changing my trivia team name to All I Want for Quizmas. I love that. Nice. I am a huge fan. I used to do trivia nights all the time in Savannah. We used to go every Thursday. Oh my good Lord, y'all. There are stories that cannot be repeated.
That's right.
So much fun. Is it about time for another one?
I believe so.
Dun-dun-dun, your turn.
Third quiz question. Get your fingers ready. Get your tapping ready. Put some Christmas themed answer down so you can hit enter right away just in case. So,
Carrie,
next
you have
up,
to cut it up and use it. Share.
our third question is dun, da, 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 da. Traditionally, what country did eggnog come from? Now, traditionally speaking, where did eggnog come from? Okay.
I want to eat
It was
this.
known as Post-it, and then it's gone from there to eggnog. So, look at your thing. Eggnog, country where eggnog came from. No, not Cleveland, Ohio. That's where the house is for this. But that's close because that would hit the road, Jack. That was actually going to be one of the questions. Croat on the Hudson, USA.
No, Rusty.
Germany,
No,
no Ronnie. Oh,
Cameron.
we have a
No,
winner.
Sloan. No,
Let's
Philippe.
hit the road, Jack.
No, gals. Carrie Miller on mine.
Let's
England is the
hit
place.
the road. Jack, and what was yours?
Carrie Miller.
Terry Miller.
Carrie with a C-A-R-R-I-E.
Miller.
Thank you for participating. Very fun. And congratulations to
So there's a lot of different things that eggnogs could be coming from, but they kind of traditionally speak where it came from was Britain, England. About 13th century was where it first started showing up in letters about people drinking it. So oddly enough, it is not Prairie Farms. My
Except
dad,
in our house, it's always Prairie
yeah,
Farms.
because if you get eggnog, it's not Prairie Farm. My dad would be like,
He won't drink it. He's like, no.
is that today? Yes.
Can I just say I took a little scoop of the fig and the brie and a little scoop of some
Apricot?
or apricot.
Apris.
Y'all mix those sometime. Do the both. It's
Little this.
good stuff.
A little of
Yeah.
that. And should I get some dough?
If you want to. I had a piece of dough. I'm not supposed to eat that much of that.
It's too late.
Nah,
Not bad.
it's
Not
good
bad.
stuff,
I
right?
like the singular taste though.
Well, I put two of them together.
Well, I like us together. So there's that.
You do?
I do. My
I
Snookums
do too.
McWookums.
They're my favorite.
Oh, thank you. You must be drinking a lot of those things, son.
No, I'm only on two.
Oh, you need another one?
You need one?
No.
What do
come
you-
on.
are you
come on,
having-
hot one.
Hot wine. I'll put this over here because guess what? Oh my gosh. Can I just tell you what this week has been? So first, this got stopped up. The drain in the sink, right?
Both drains.
Both drains. Well, really it was more one, but whatever. Had the plumber come and so in the midst of it,
And we couldn't even fix it. As much as YouTube is helpful, we had the one drain that no one talks about on YouTube.
Well, it's
underneath.
because of the setup of our drain system, right? But not thinking, and I know better than this. I ran the damn the dishwasher, and guess what happens when the dishwasher can't drain? It goes in the sink, right? It uses that anyway, and then it backs up in the sink. And then,
I had fun with Shop Vac this week.
And then our wonderful, this is the best washing dishwasher ever, but 4 times now I've gotten this error code on it. It has to do with the drain system. I told you to climb. You climb. See, I'm telling you, he doesn't listen to instructions after he's been to daycare. Anywho,
I put your comments on.
so this thing won't drain anymore.
Wait,
So
no.
now I have to have a repairman come out because I can never fix this error code. It's the only error code that I ever get, and sometimes I've gotten it and it's okay, but oh my gosh. So I'm now hand washing everything, and it's a disaster, and I hate it. So let's hit the road, Jack. Thank you for the super chat, and congratulations. Do DM us so we can send you stuff. Merry Christmas to you also. Frances has eggnog. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have eggnog, OMG, BRB. Mark is...
Paul Snyder's that whiskey and eggnog is acceptable? Yes, anything in eggnog is acceptable.
You know what?
It's eggnog.
I know people who do whiskey with an E, without an E. So like scotch. I've seen people put
Bourbon?
scotch in. Bourbon.
My dad does bourbon.
Rum.
Rum's
Those
popular.
are the three that I know.
Because I would think
people do on a
traditionally it
regular.
would be rum. I guess how it was originally made.
Well, I don't know. It's all good. Carrie says, we make an eggnog recipe at least a month ahead every year and age it in the fridge. So much booze, it's even better a year later. That's the way to do it.
Is that Carrie Miller?
Yeah.
She earned that shirt. That's a Carrie yes.
Right? So my girlfriend Sandra, who does the cocktail videos with me on Fridays on Simply Jocelyn, she has a really good eggnog recipe. She also has a spike recipe that she has given to me that I am not allowed to share with anyone under penalty of death. When I am on my deathbed, I can pass it on to someone in my family.
But it's such
That
a
is
secret.
it.
She didn't even make it.
Yeah, I mean, so she just has this spike, and she'll make eggnog or she'll buy eggnog, and the spike goes into that. But the spike goes into a lot of, like, it can go into a lot of things. But
it's like it's supposed
it is
to
a
spike something.
it's a state secret, though. I mean, this is big
Oh, no,
stuff.
when they were filming, they brought it up. I could feel the discomfort in Sandra's voice. I'm like, we don't need to film it. I'm like, we don't need to film it. And she
No,
keeps
I didn't say.
I know you
anything
didn't. You
about
didn't either.
filming.
No, you didn't either.
She was just like,
adamant.
this is only for you because you're my sister of heart. I mean, and we are. We're sisters.
Yeah,
of
and we're
heart,
like, don't
so.
worry, we won't do that.
Yeah. So let's see, what was I going to say about that too? There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, that Cherry Bounce, that video will be coming out soon. Cherry Bounce is a really great thing. It's a very historical drink. Good night, gals. It's a historical drink. There's a lot of interesting stuff around it, but Sandra and I made that this summer, and then I just finished it because it has to sit minimum 6 months. Fortunately, I made a couple different things of it, and so the rest is going to sit later.
Yeah, Talia, please send that coquito recipe again. I love coquito.
She knows I have it.
Oh, you have it?
It's in my thing.
Because since we were traveling,
haven't made it yet.
traveling a lot in November and early December this year. We didn't get a chance to film some of the Christmas stuff, so we're probably going to film a bunch of Christmas stuff that'll be for next Christmas.
Yeah.
Because people sometimes look weird.
Henry, yes, we have spent several Christmases in Germany. Our first Christmas in Europe, we spent all of us together was in Bamberg, Germany.
So I remember I spent Christmas in Finland when I was in high school, and so there was like all these different fish dishes, like all this different herring we had to have, and I hate herring. And it was like, but you, of course, when you're an exchange student in high school, you eat whatever anyone gives you because it's polite and you're supposed to do that. Oh, it was brutal. And I still remember, like, that family, the Hutelas, we saw them a few years ago when we were back in Finland. He was just laughing because he knew I hated it. And but he knew I was just, he's like...
But you were so kind.
I know, he's like, why don't you have this one? Try this one. I'm like, are you going to have it? He's like, hell no, that stuff's disgusting.
We had such a great time when we went and saw them with the kids. And they only have one grandchild. And so we took the boy...
No, they have two. They have two.
Granddaughters.
Yeah, two granddaughters.
Two granddaughters. And so we went back and...
And they didn't know I was coming, and so it was like out of the blue. I'm like, hey, we're in Turku. If you want to do this, they're like, what? They're like, yeah. And they had just gotten back. So he came and picked us up. We went out there, and Liam just loved Pirko, my host mom. Like, she was like in tears because she's like, I love you.
Oh, I mean, they were like, we have grandsons now. But that's happened with so many of your host families.
Yeah.
So if you guys are young and are able to do that kind of thing, or if you have kids who are able to do that,
do it.
Actually, we're hoping that Caleb will do that soon with some friends of ours in Italy. And then their son, Filippo, would come and live with us. And actually, we've kind of been talking about this since the kids were like 4 and 5 years old.
Yeah.
They've been playing together whenever we go. And, you know, that experience and having that connection with people, Mark's parents and all of their kids that they had come and live with them, especially Lou. I mean, they're...
We didn't call Bertha.
Yeah, we did.
We did? I was drunk.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I was drunk, wasn't I?
You were drunk.
That's right.
It was also on Matt's birthday. You were speaking the Portuguese.
That's right.
And
I was hammered.
Trying. My Portuguese
I thought we called. I was like, I wouldn't, because I put a thing on my phone, and you know. Hi, Brig. Hi, Brig. We're not married, Brig. You can't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So Talia, yes, I need to do the Coquito thing this week. Hopefully, I can get that done.
Let's see. Hey.
Let's see. Carrie is spelled R-U-S-T-Y. Rusty, you're funny.
So Francis has a nice question. Top 5 for first-time international travelers.
Yes, Rusty.
She found Rome to be super easy with our videos. Thank you very much for that, Francis. But I think we have a video for like your first-time trip to Europe. I usually recommend people do like bigger cities because there's more tourism infrastructure, transportation, easy to get to if you want to go there. That's why I usually say is you want to get a multi-city ticket so you don't have to fly out of the same city because you're wasting a day of travel. So I usually fly into London and take the train down to Paris. Then you can fly over to Prague and then fly down to Rome because there's a lot of cheap airlines. And I mean it sounds like a lot, but it's very doable. And that would get you like a lot of different cultures, a lot of different feels, a lot of like things you're like I've seen that in the movies, and you get really like pumped up by it.
Yeah. So
those would be some really easy ones, I would say.
Very fun.
Rusty Shackelford, I'm exclusively drinking Corona this year because it feels it's appropriate. Yeah, I've had a few Coronas this year for sure.
But none
Aaron,
of the bad kind.
Okay, Aaron Doss, Berlin or Vienna? Okay, so if you want the pomp and circumstance and the fancy building stuff, then Vienna is definitely one for you. If you want more of an international vibe, then Berlin would be the city for you. If you're going to be like clubbing, definitely go to Berlin. Like,
Lord.
Party time in Berlin.
Dancing all night.
You'll eat really well. Do not expect to have any good German food when you are in Berlin.
No, but expect really great
Turkish,
other
Greek,
ethnicities.
Spanish, Indian. You got so many great things there. So there is that.
Some of the best Greek food I've had outside of Greece has been in Berlin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, Bruno's talking about how we always have purchased an open jaw ticket. The open jaw just means you can come back whenever. That's another option. Though some places want you to prove that you have another flight going. Some places to leaving the area, but a lot of times it depends where your passport's from. Like if it's a U.S. passport, they usually don't ask.
You know, and things are ever changing right now between. Yeah, it's just everything's ever changing, right? So think be prepared for all scenarios right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, should we do our last question of the night?
I think so. Dun, dun,
I will let you.
It's my turn. Which one are we doing?
Can you read that one?
Oh, yeah. So, this is one near and dear to my heart because this is my patron saint. What modern country is St. Nicholas from? Modern country. There's a region too, but the region is ancient and only. If Nick Barnett was on here, he would know. So just tell me the modern country that.
Watch your thing. Watch your thing.
I'm watching. Set that down.
It's not Cleveland, Ohio. Pompeii? Nope. Not Herculean. Nope.
Good night, Talia. I am so glad your surgery was good. You just go to sleep.
No, not the Netherlands. Not
Cameron.
Thomas Reiser.
Cameron, I'm going to butcher your last name. Suire? S-U-I-R-E. Got it. It is Turkey.
Which one is Cameron?
Cameron.
Where?
K-A-M-E-R-O-N. So, at church, and we say this every week in Greek church, we talk about St. Nicholas of Myra and Lycia. So he was born in, I'm going to screw up the name.
Myra Lycia,
he died in Myra.
He died in the Byzantine Empire.
Died in Myra. Anyway, we say St. Nicholas of Myra and Lycia, and he is my patron saint, Caleb's patron saint, my dad's patron saint, because guess what? Greeks really like the name Nicholas.
Nicholas, Harold, George.
Because at the time, that was Greece, right? It was part of the Greco...
No, it was part of the Roman Empire.
At that time, it was Greek.
No, it was Roman.
Really?
Well, it was owned by the Roman Empire because they control that stuff. But anyway...
We're going to have a fight about ancient history.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be sleeping in my office
Did you write their
tonight.
names down?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
So, Thomas Reiser, Cameron Swear, Let's Hit the Road Jack, Carrie Miller, Peter Melander,
And
Ryan
Talia.
Smith, Talia, and Michael Traveling the World are winners for tonight. So
Awesome,
we will be getting
Cameron, that's so cool.
Contact us, woltersworld@gmail.com, or you can on our social media stuff. And
The social media might get answered faster.
yes.
Why
so
don't you
know
do
that?
that? Just any of our social media.
Yeah, and so we know it'll be like, hey, this is what I go by.
Yeah.
So like if you're Terry Finley trying to pretend like you're Cameron, you know,
Yes.
we'll see.
So yeah, for those of you who are going under assumed names, we need to know who you are.
Because, you know, I don't know if TGK is a real name.
I know TGK, and somewhere I have her address, but she's already gone to bed because she had surgery this morning
Oh, that's right.
on her arm. So yeah.
Oh, she's doing okay.
She is. Boo with my lag. Rusty, you dude, been there, done that. Yeah. I do want to thank Terry Finley for being a great moderator on my site, and her husband Mark too.
Hey, Mache.
Mache's here. Nice to see you. I really appreciate our moderators, and I know tonight's been rather quieter. Your battery's running low on yours, baby.
Oh, I guess it's the time.
I guess it's telling us to wrap things up.
Well, the thing is, it's plugged in, which tells me I gotta get a new computer.
I need to find a new cord for you. So, guess what Mark's getting for Christmas? Anyway, our moderators do such a great job of keeping things clean and shutting people down who are, you know, trolling and angsting and you know, not keeping things positive, because we really are striving for that, especially this year, because good Lord, the world is full of crazy and we don't need any more crazy than we already got, right?
This is
So,
true.
great shout out to our moderators. And
So, thank you, everybody. So, on my
Thanks for
channel, I want to say
hanging out.
thank you as well, everyone, for the super chats. We wish you all, well, everybody, regardless of whatever, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy
Christmas.
Holidays, Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Whatever you celebrate or
Happy
don't celebrate,
Kwanzaa.
we wish you
Merry
all
Christmas,
one time.
Kwanzaa.
There you go. Happy
Thanks all
Festivus to the
for
rest of
joining
us.
Enjoy your time off of work and school and all of that. And it's been a rough year. Let's all pull together and just try to find some happy this
And if any
year.
of our superheroes, our patrons or members are on this Saturday at 9 a.m., we're going to have a patrons and members only live feed. So we can talk a little bit more travel and a little less eating.
Well,
and
but
drinking.
our patron things are always just family talk. It's
Yeah.
like we've all become a big family. So I look forward to that as always. So
Right.
all of you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
See you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't find the button.